And we're live, I think. First time streaming on YouTube, so we'll figure out how this works as we go. All right, so let's see here. Go Facecam. Hey everyone, it's Alex, also known as Lover Fighter Writer, or Love Fight Right, depending on which platform you find me on. And I wanted to do this stream to say thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers, thank you for 1,000 plus, and for continuing to come back and watch my stuff. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, so today I'm gonna hang out for a bit and chat for maybe 10 minutes, and then I'm going to go through my blog post workflow using Phrase and Jarvis and Grammarly, which are the three tools that I'm currently using. I use a few other tools, but those are the three kind of main tools that I use to create content. Hey, Hip Gloss Designs, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I can see your chat, which is great. All right, let's figure out how I can get chat going here. Here we go. Now I have a chat box. Well, okay, there it is. There's kind of a weird delay, which I guess that's just the way YouTube is. There's a bit less of a delay on Twitch. So anyways, for anyone who just stopped in, I'm Alex, Lover Fighter Writer, and this stream is to say thank you for 1,000 subscribers. We're just going to chat for about 10 minutes here, about 8 minutes left now, and then I'm going to demonstrate my blog post workflow. Hey Hussein, good evening to you. Thanks for stopping by. How's your day going? He said as he sipped a massive mug of coffee. It's almost 2 p.m. here. I apologize to anyone who was expecting this stream to happen yesterday. I emailed my list saying it was going to be yesterday, and that was my plan, but YouTube had other plans, and so it ended up being today. And I didn't end up emailing again because I didn't want to jinx myself again. So this seems to be going all right, and pretty happy with it. It's always fun to stream, and I think I might make this a kind of a regular part of my YouTube content. I might start doing, I don't know if it'll be weekly streams, maybe every other week, maybe monthly, just to say hi to people and chat and maybe get some questions and figure out what everyone is looking for in terms of content on this channel. All right, just gonna move this over down here, and I think I've got everything pretty much set up. We've got a pretty cool topic for today's blog post. I mean, if you're into marketing and stuff. Otherwise, it's pretty nerdy, I guess. But yeah, we're actually talking about YouTube today. Some YouTube marketing tactics, sort of. I don't want to give it away just yet. But we'll get into that. And there we go. All right, my tools are all ready. The stream is streaming, which is awesome. And about 5 more minutes of chatting. So, I mean, anyone out there, feel free to let me know where you are in the world and what you had for dinner or are having for dinner. I'd be curious to know what people are, where people are at, and what people are eating, because food is good. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have for dinner. I'm in Canada, and I had eggs and bacon for breakfast. It was really delicious. Not sure what I'm gonna have for dinner, but yeah, I'm in Canada, Ontario, Canada. So we're still a little bit cautious here, but things are opening up, and I'm glad for it. Man, there's a lot going on YouTube. It's a little bit simpler when you stream on Twitch. Interesting. Just kind of figuring out what these tools I have do. Okay. All right, well, let's, I'm not gonna quite start into it yet. I wanna wait until 2, which is 3 minutes away now. So you've got 3 minutes of me improvising content. You don't have to put up with that too much longer. I'll switch this over and we'll start taking a look at the tools I'm gonna use. And once we get into the actual stream, I'll probably get rid of the cam because it might be in the way of some things. But just for the moment, I'll leave it there. So anyways, this is Phrase, phrase.io. And it is it does a lot of different things. I mostly use it for as a research assistant and SEO keyword optimizing tool. I guess its biggest function for me is really the research, but the topic keyword optimization is also pretty powerful and very, very helpful. So what I'm going to do is, you can see I've got my title here, how to create YouTube shorts. I'm going to start the process in Phrase and build an outline in Phrase using its research capabilities. Then I'm going to take that outline over to Jarvis, which is right here. This is jarvis.ai, my preferred AI copywriting software. I use a lot of AI copywriting softwares, but this is the one that I use the most, especially for long form content like blog posts, especially if I want them to be keyword optimized. I've just found it to be the easiest to use for that kind of stuff. And then after we get most of it written in here, we'll pull it back into Phrase for keyword optimization. And once I kind of finish writing it in Phrase and optimize it for the keywords correctly, I'll move it over to Grammarly, which is right here. And in Grammarly, we will do some quick corrections, fix some grammar, check it for plagiarism. That's why I have Grammarly Pro. Is so that I have the plagiarism checker, and that kind of puts my mind at ease that I'm not accidentally, plagiarizing someone. Because I would never plagiarize someone intentionally, but I mean, it's very possible. There's so much content on the internet. It's very possible that you could write the exact same thing as someone else accidentally. Not an entire article, but like a paragraph or something could be very, very similar. All right, I think we're about ready to get going. So let's start. So welcome to the stream once again. I'm Alex, Lover Fighter Writer, and today, I'm going to turn off the cam. There we go. Today we are going to do to work through my blog post workflow, which involves 3 main tools: Phrase, Jarvis, and Grammarly. And the name of the article, or the topic of the article rather, we're going to be working on is how to create YouTube Shorts. If you're not aware, YouTube Shorts are short vertical videos that get kind of a special classification on YouTube. And if you're on the YouTube mobile app, then there's, I think, a special place where you view shorts, and you just kind of get a shorts feed, and they constantly feed them through. And so YouTube Shorts are pretty easy to make because they're so short, as long as you have a decent tool for making them. And they're a good way to get quite a bit of new traffic to your channel and potentially get a lot of subscribers. So I'm going to write an article about how to create YouTube Shorts. And to get things started, I just put the title, or the topic rather, my target search query right in here. And then I select a folder to save it to, and I'm going to go to create document. So what Phrase is doing now is it's scraping all these, basically the top ranking articles, the top ranking pages for this search term are being scraped. It's looking at their titles, it's looking at their meta information, it's looking at the content on the page, and it's bringing me all of these results. And now the first thing that you want to do in Phrase, or at least the first thing that I do, is I go right here to edit the results, because you can see it says it's processed 18 out of 20 results. So what does that mean? That kind of sounds like there's a problem. So what happens is some of the top ranking ones might be YouTube searches or might be YouTube videos, for example, and you can't, Phrase can't read YouTube videos. So you want to uncheck any of these that you have selected. And actually, normally what I do is I select the top 10 first, so that I don't have the top 20 selected, and then I go through and deselect any that are not processed. And then I check and see if there's any that I want to add which are beyond the top 10. So I'm just going to add this one and this one so that I have 10, which is a good number to have. You don't need to have 10, but I usually like to have like 7 or 8 or more if I can, because that way there's more context, and there's more there's just more availability of topics and subtopics and keywords for Phrase to take into consideration. So once you've selected the sources that you want to be referenced, then you can click save, and it's going to kind of reevaluate. And from here, there's a ton of information that you can look at. But the easiest way to look at it for me is just to click on Automate Brief over here. And you can select any or all of these content brief areas to have selected. I like to just use people also ask, topics, questions, and statistics. Sometimes I might include some of the other ones, but usually these are the ones that I go with because it just makes it easiest for me. And then I just click on Insert Brief into Editor, and it's going to build a really nice content brief for me. All right. So now you can see it's inserted all the stuff that I just asked for. These are related questions asked on Google. So this is, like if you've ever seen in Google search, the people also ask area where they show you questions that other people have searched for. These are scraped from there. These are the top 20 topics, the top 20 most important, as judged by Phrase, topics to use or keywords to use in my article. And then these are other questions that it found on the web, in other people's articles, maybe on Quora, stuff like that. And it looks like there is no statistics, but if people had cited any statistics using a percentage symbol, then it would have scraped those as well and included them. So I might have to find my own statistic to add to this article, but that's okay. It's better to do that anyways. So now that I have this, basically the questions are going to help me. Create heading ideas, and the topics are going to give me just a list of topics that I can copy and paste into Jarvis in order to ask Jarvis to use those keywords. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm just going to copy this whole list of keywords. Probably won't be able to get all of them in, but we'll see. And now I'm going to come over to Jarvis, and I've already hit create new document in Jarvis, and I could just start from scratch, but I'm going to use the blog post workflow because I kind of like that. So I'm going to ask Jarvis to write an article about how to create YouTube Shorts. And Jarvis probably doesn't know what YouTube Shorts are, so I'm going to tell Jarvis what they are. Oops, I forgot to say that they're vertical videos. Short vertical videos. Okay, so now that I've typed a very brief outline for Jarvis here, just kind of given Jarvis an idea of what I want, I'm going to say use these keywords, colon, and then I'm just going to paste that list of keywords that I copied right in here. And let's see, how many did I get? What did I not? Oh, I got them all. Nice. Oh, I still got some space. So I'm going to add, actually, no, that's good. I'm just going to keep it like that. And for the keywords, I will say YouTube Shorts, how to create YouTube Shorts, and how to make YouTube Shorts. And we'll continue. And now we're getting into actually using Jarvis a little bit, and this is where the magic starts to come in, or rather the AI copywriting that kind of seems like magic starts to come in. So for title, I'm just going to generate some ideas and see what it gives me. And usually I take one of the ideas it generates and kind of modify it a little bit. But we'll see how to create YouTube Shorts. Okay, that's not quite what I want. Maybe I can mix that with another one. Kind of like this. YouTube short form video feed. That's pretty good. So we'll use the title, How to Create YouTube Shorts, YouTube short form video feed. And now I'm just going to generate some intro paragraph ideas. YouTube Shorts are short vertical videos under 59 seconds. They get promoted in a separate feed. That's just what I wrote for you. YouTube short form video feed is a great way to grow your channel. YouTube Shorts are short vertical videos under 59 seconds. When they get promoted in the separate YouTube mobile app feed, it can be a powerful tool for increasing exposure. In this article, we'll discuss how to create YouTube Shorts, including YouTube's own easy-to-use tools for creating YouTube Shorts. All right, we'll go with that one. And now we just open the editor. All right, give me one moment. Be right back. And I'm back. Okay. So, okay, now that hides it. So if I ever want Jarvis to stop paying attention to the title or to the content description or to the keywords, I can toggle them off with these little toggles, which is pretty nice. It's a pretty nice update over how Jarvis used to work, because it used to be once you had these things in there, you kind of needed something there. I guess you could take them out afterwards, but it's just it's a nice update on from how it used to work. So we've got our opening paragraph, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a lead in for the, actually I wanted to change this. Including, I'm just going to say easy to use tools for creating YouTube Shorts. So I'm just going to type that, and then I'm going to hit Control J, and Jarvis will do the rest of this paragraph. If you're new to YouTube, video can be daunting. However, YouTube has simplified the process of creating YouTube Shorts with easy-to-use tools for making YouTube videos that make it easier than ever to create your own YouTube Short. That's very repetitive. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to say rephrase. All right, that's almost good. So I'll just change this. Oops. Guess I shouldn't have done that. I don't use that part very often. No, that's not what I want to change. I want to change this. Rephrase it for me, please. Try again. There's a reason I don't use this feature that often. It's because I find it doesn't work nearly as well as the normal long-form composer. YouTube has made it easier than ever to create short-form videos with easy-to-use tools built in. Okay, we'll go with that. This isn't really the direction that I want to go, though. All right, so first heading we're going to use, I don't even need to look at the questions that I got from Phrase, because it's going to be, what are YouTube Shorts? And the reason I'm adding 2 hashtags here are because that's what tells Jarvis that this is a heading. I'm sure that soon they will add an update where Jarvis just knows from the fact that it's a heading, but for now you need to add hashtags anywhere that you want Jarvis to know that something is a heading for sure. So I'll just say YouTube Shorts are, and let Jarvis take over. Now I'm going to go back to phrase and take a look at some of these questions. So this is a people also ask question. It's something that people actively search on YouTube. And that's what most of the headings that I use from here on out are going to be from that. They're either going to be inspired by people also ask, or they're going to be taken directly from people also ask. It's just kind of an easier way to create content that's relevant to what people are searching for and what people are thinking about and talking about online. Okay, I'm going to save this for later. All right, so now we've got a pretty good start to that. If you don't have a smartphone, the easiest way is using InVideo software, which has a simple interface with 3 features that can be used even if you're on a budget. See if Jarvis can get this right. Be a challenge. It's not bad. All right, I think I'm ready for another heading. How do I upload a short video on YouTube? That probably was a good one to do. I'm not going to be able to, I think, write the entire article today, but I'll do one more heading in Jarvis just to keep showing you how I use this. And then we'll move over to Grammarly and do a little bit of editing, or no, we'll move to phrase rather, do some keyword optimization, and then we'll move to Grammarly for editing. Hey, we got a message from Chad L. Thanks for the vid. I'd messaged you recently and didn't realize you had phrase. This will be helpful. Came in late. Hope it remains up so I can catch beginning. Hey, Chad. Great to see you. Yes, this is going to stay up. And yeah, the beginning was just a little bit of how to use phrase for research, and I'm just about to take this stuff I've written and move it back to phrase for some keyword optimization. So we're going to use phrase in just a couple minutes. Oops. Just make sure. This will help YouTube. I think I'll make this an H3 instead of an H2. Okay, actually I was going to move it over now. So if I come back to phrase, so I would basically just keep doing what I've been doing. I usually build a bit of an outline first with like the questions that I want to use the most, and go from there. But I'm just kind of winging it today because I'm trying to get through this quickly. But anyway, so I come back to phrase, and you notice there's tabs up here. So currently I'm in the content brief tab, and I can add more tabs if I want, but usually I just use 2. So if I come over to my content, it has the same title, but the content area is blank. And so I can just come over here and Control A, Control C, copy my content, and then Control V to paste it in here. And this is how you start to use phrase for keyword optimization. If I click on topic score, then it's going to, you can see it's giving me a percentage of how well I'm covering the right topics, which is currently not very good. It's at 6.4%. And then it gives me each individual keyword that it wants me to use, as well as an approximate number of how many times it might be good to use it. Now, the reason that that this is red is because I'm using it too many times, but that is too many times based on the amount of total text that's there. So if I were to add like a bunch, if I were to type a lot more, add a bunch more content without adding more YouTube shorts, without using that keyword over and over again, then this one will turn green. And yellow means that I'm on my way to green. I've got 1 out of 2 for this one. And green means that you're within a healthy number of uses. So this one is 1 out of 1, this one is 2 out of 1. And then right here, I can change the type of topic that it's showing. So right now it's showing long tail topics. I can also get it to show topics that it might be good to use in the header or in the title, and topics that it might be good to use in headers. And I do like to use these. I like to use them for inspiration. And it looks like the headline that I came up with, that with Jarvis, is actually going to work for me here. So I paste this in. You can see these are all fulfilled. So that's a very good title according to phrase. And now I'm going to go to headers. And so these are some good keywords to include in headers according to phrase. They're keywords that other people are using in their headers, in their H2s and H3s. And that's annoying. And then these are the top topics. These are like the most important sort of subtopics. And then long tail are, of course, topics that include 2 or more words. So usually I start with the headers, and I get some, well, I start with title, and I try and get a title that matches up with some of the title terms at least. And then I'll put some headers in that I like, that use some of these. And then I'll go to top topics, and then I'll go to long tail as I'm finishing it off. So obviously this is just a very short, piece of the article. So I'm not going to try and get it to like, 70 or 80% like I normally would. But I'll go through and do a little bit of editing. So let's just take a look. mobile app, email, monetization, podcast, and mark the video. So let's come back here and see if there's any questions that have those in them. Okay, so some headers that I'll probably use in the future would include, this will probably be in the FAQ. Oh, this one won't be. Actually, these might be in the FAQ, so just move them down here and make them H3s. Like this, and H2. And now I would basically go through the article and add stuff and rewrite stuff to make it include more of these terms. So I'm going to go to top topics, and so I want to get the term feature in there, and audience, and times. So let's go through this and see if there's any way that we can add some of those search terms, or some of those keywords rather. Go. Got audience in there, and you can see audience is now filled out. And one neat thing that you can do, which is pretty helpful, especially if you're trying to figure out like keyword density and stuff, is just click highlight, and it actually highlights all the keywords that you've used in the entire document. That gets annoying if you leave it on, I think, but it's good to be able to look at it that way. And actually, if I click on a topic here, you have to be careful where you click, because if I click right here on this, I don't know if you can see that symbol, there's a little like circle with a line through it symbol. If I click right on that symbol, it blacklists that keyword and kind of removes it from consideration. But if I click right here, it'll copy it. But if I click anywhere else, like just right here, it's going to take me to SERP mentions of the topic, so I can actually see how other people are using it. So I can see it says times, but other people are just using time. See if this works. It does. All right. So now you can see I started at a 6% topic score. I'm up to a 15% topic score, which is not bad considering I've only got a little under 400 words of text in here. All right. Next up, feature, content, button, clips. If you're new to YouTube, this article will walk you through how to make YouTube Shorts using InVideo, my favorite video creation software. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Obviously, there's many more topics. In order to get it to a, usually I aim for like 70 to 80% topic score, unless my competitors. This yellow line shows where your competitors are averaging. So the average competitor score for content is 50%. So 70 to 80% would be really good for this document. The only time that I would try to go above 70 or 80% is if the average was at 70 or 80, then I would want to aim for like 90 or higher. I'm just gonna take a look at long tail. So this is where I would start to use the long tail keywords more. As I expanded the article, I would incorporate more and more of these keywords. And if I needed to write anything like a few paragraphs at a time, I might even take it back to Jarvis, and I would narrow down the keywords that I've asked Jarvis to use. Like if I specifically wanted it to use these keywords, then I would remove the other ones, and this would increase the likelihood that Jarvis is going to use these keywords in the content. So now that we have done that, let's just move what we have over to Grammarly, and I'll demonstrate a little bit of how I use that. So you can see we've got 19 grammar suggestions, and I'm going to dismiss this. And then if I click down here, it'll show me the plagiarism check. And so it's saying 2% plagiarism. And that's because of this one, let's see, yeah, one sentence that's a little bit like something someone else wrote, which says, that's why I wrote this article. So I'm not concerned about saying that's why I wrote this article when someone else has already said that on the internet. So I'm just going to dismiss that and then close this and go back to the suggestions. And now Grammarly makes it really easy to work through really fast and correct things. You can just click on anywhere that you see an underline, means that there's a potential fix. And then, so you click there to pull this up, and then you just click on the fix in order to accept it, and it adds it for you. And this one, the different colors indicate different types. So this one is a rephrase. So it's actually going to use AI to rephrase the entire article for me to make it sound a bit better, make it a bit more congruent, and probably more concise. So I usually use most of them. Some of them I end up not using if it kind of ruins something about the way I've written it, something that I like, or if it, if it's just wrong, of course. What's this? Okay, I'm going to add that to the dictionary. I have to delete all these apparently. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's a typo, so it'll fix that for me. They are vertical rather than horizontal, like regular YouTube content. There we go. So basically I would just go through and fix all of these. And once I'm done that, I would give it a final proofread, stick it in a Google Doc for safekeeping, and then it would just be time to start pulling up, creating some images to go with it, and finding a good time to publish it on my WordPress blog. All right, so that is pretty much my workflow. I got through it in just a little over half an hour. Obviously I didn't create an entire article because that would take at least probably a couple hours, and I do not have the endurance for that today. I'm pretty tired, but I wanted to do this broadcast to kind of share this with you, and I hope that was useful. I'll stay on this channel a little bit longer. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me with them. Here, let's bring me back. Hey everybody. So I'm just going to probably stay live for the next 3 or 4 minutes. If you have any questions about any of the tools that I just demonstrated, or about SEO or content creation in general, feel free to ask them now. And if not, I'm just going to keep drinking coffee and talking, mostly to myself. But I really appreciate everyone who stopped by today. Really appreciate everyone who subscribed to the channel and checks out my content on a daily basis. I was really hesitant to commit to YouTube for a long time because I didn't think that I would be able to make it work. And it was really, really cool when I started actually committing to it and creating content on a regular basis on here. It was really, really cool to get a response from that and get people subscribing and watching and commenting and just interacting with what I created. So really grateful for all of you folks out there. And if you're watching this after it airs, then feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know you made it to the end of the video. And let me know what you'd like me to do in a subsequent stream, because I'm probably going to do more streams, as I mentioned earlier. I might just do them like every other week or maybe once a month, just to, interact with the people a little bit more and get to know what people want, answer some questions, and change things up a little bit from the, standard video uploads. Okay. Stream ending in 2 minutes. Anything else that I should mention about that? If you're looking for like a really low budget way to do this, you can do a lot of what Phrase does manually. It's just a lot slower and frustrating, but like, for example, if you search your search term, like your keyword that you're targeting, and it pulls up some people also ask questions, then you can expand those and it'll add more. So just expand all of them and let it show you all the people also ask questions, and then you can just copy and paste those into a document. It takes a lot longer, but it works. And same thing with headings. If you want to get inspiration from other people's headings, you can just go into their articles and see what they're using. There's a free extension called SEO Minion that I use, which you can use to look at people's headings really easily and grab them if you want to put them in a document so that you can look at them more easily. That's available for free on the Chrome extension store. Coffee is great. Going to follow this process for the page I'm working on. I'm also collaborating with an artist to make a vid for that article. So maybe some tips on tying an article to YouTube content. That's an interesting one. So, I mean, the way that I do it, and this is just my personal thing, I do a lot of similar content on my blog and YouTube. I create a lot more content on YouTube than I do on my blog, so there's not always an article that goes with a video. But when I do have an article and a video on the same topic, usually the article is fairly technical and fairly like analytical and facts-based, whereas the video tends to be a little bit more just me talking about my experience and what I feel about the product. I'm talking about a product review, I guess. But for educational content, it's kind of the same. Like I'll give more concrete strategic advice in the article, and then in the video I might talk about kind of the more tactical approach, some stuff that I actually do in order to implement those strategies. So I guess what I would say is just make it not the exact same thing as each other, but it needs to contain some of the same stuff, and it needs to be complementary. But you don't necessarily want. It's not like it's not a terrible thing if the article and the video are basically the exact same, but I think it's ideal if someone comes to your blog page and starts to read the article and gets to the embedded video. They should be able to like read the article and watch the video and learn something new from both in order to encourage them to continue consuming your content. That's just kind of the way I think about it, but hope that answers your question. The thought process of the artist while he's working in the video with the goal of elaborating on the written component. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good way to approach it. All right, I'm going to end this stream. Thank you for hanging out. Hipgloss, Hossein, Chad, thanks for chatting. And I'll see you around the YouTube. Take care.